Meet Abigail. I thought I would show off our baby before I got started. This is my son's kitty cat that he rescued, and I'll go into more of her later. But since my 25th wedding anniversary is coming up on May the 16th of this year, so I thought I would share some stories leading up to our marriage and stuff. So anyway, back in 1988, I started working at Lowe's. And 1 week later, Richard, and I call him Ricky most of the time, was hired 1 week later. We worked together for 4 years, dated 2 of those years. But the first 2 years we didn't, he was dating somebody else, I dated somebody else. And I say that heartbreak brought us together. He is a little bit older than I am. Not much, but a little bit. But I had just came out of a bad relationship. Not a bad relationship. I just came out of a relationship and I was very hurt. And he had come out of a relationship. And that's kind of what brought us together. I bowled, and I bowled in leagues because we was raised in bowling. You know, my mama and I was in league bowling and tournament bowling, and also we knew how to bowl. So one day my sister came by work, who was then married, and they had a boy that they wanted to set me up with. So, can't get down out here. So she came in and was talking about it, and I hated being set up on dates. I couldn't stand that. So I agreed to it. We'd go bowling. Well, Ricky all of a sudden walked up and was like, "What are y'all talking about?" And I'm like, "They want me to go bowling with them tonight." He goes, "Can I go?" And I'm like, "Yes, you can go." And my sister just kind of looked at me. So needless to say, when they picked us up at work, I sat in between Richard and that boy and never spoke not one word to that boy. Me and Richard just cut up the whole time. Kind of embarrassed my sister and her first husband because I took no interest in that boy. But did Richard. I always did kind of like him and everything, but so I was excited when he asked to go. And then it kind of started where I would go bowling in my league once a week, and he would start coming to watch me bowl. And sometimes, y'all remember my little cousins, who I was kind of like their nanny. I had 6 of them, but 3 of them I was kind of like their nanny. Kept and helped raise them. They would sometimes go with me, so I wouldn't have to go that long trip by myself. So, if they came and he came, they would go bowl them a few little games while I would finish my league bowling. And I was in tournaments and stuff and even got down to the semifinals. But anyway, the first time that he kissed me, my little cousin Tab had went bowling with me, and he walked us to my car, and when I got in, he leaned down and he kissed me. And I told Tabitha on the way home, I'm like, "Don't you dare tell Aunt Debbie," and I mean it. Not that I thought I'd get in trouble or anything like that. It's just like, I didn't like the oohs and the ahs and stuff like that. Remember, I was very shy. Very shy. So Tab, of course, about broke her neck, get in the house, tell Aunt Debbie about it. And I'm going to go put little Bit back in the house because she probably needs to go potty. I'll be right back. All right, let's see. So then he, when it came time for the next league and stuff, he got sanctioned and stuff. And so we was on a bowling team. And I remember every time I got a strike, he'd give me a kiss. It kind of embarrassed me in front of people. Well, there was another guy that was on our league too, and you know, and people go ooh and ah every time I'd get a strike. It would almost, like I say, embarrass me. So there's a hornet flying around. One night Richard couldn't make it to bowling, so I made a strike. Before I knew it, I about kissed that other man on our team. He came up and I was like, stop that. So anyway, that's kind of how it was. And at work, they really didn't want people dating, so it was kind of kept secret. We was both kind of poor and, you know, didn't really have that much money, so our dating, like, we never went nowhere really special or anything. And it got to where on Friday nights, this older couple that worked there, we'd go bowling with them on Friday nights just to have fun, and then we'd always go eat at the Crackle Barrel afterwards. So, and at first, my aunts, you know, my two aunts that I've told you about in my story that helped raise me, they didn't like him. They said that he would never love me like I would love him, and they just did not like him. They never let him know that, and everything. They was nice and all. We'd come around, and my mama didn't really care for him either. But it was kind of funny. But anyway, I guess they grew to like him. So there was this other guy at work, and I'm not going to say his real name, so we'll just call him Harry. Me and him were real good friends, and that's all that we were, but I did not know that he made everybody think that we were more than friends. You know, we'd go off places and all, but we were just friends. So one night, it was a Sunday, and I was off that day, and so I got a phone call, and it was Richard. He goes, hey, you know, I'm about to be off work as soon as we get the store closed up. You mind if I come over? And I'm like, sure, that would be awesome. You know, my heart started beating faster and all. He's like, why don't you go rent us some movies? That's when you just go to these little hole-in-the-wall movie renting places and rent the VHS tapes. So I'm like, sure. Well, no sooner than I got hung up, Harry called. But let me play you back. At work, Richard and the secretary was sitting back in the office, and like I say, only a few knew that we were kind of dating. So Richard had just hung up, and he said, Harry just comes bebopping around there. It's like, what are y'all doing and stuff? They're like, nothing. He goes, I'm going to call Cricket and see what she's doing tonight. Well, Richard and the secretary just kind of looked at each other. So when he calls me, I was about to head out the door. I'm like, you know, hello. He goes, hey, Cricket, what you up to? And I says, I'm about to go rent some movies. He goes, cool, I'll come over and watch them with you. And I'm like, well, Richard's coming over. Well, Richard said about that time, he looked at him like, really? He goes, well, I'm coming over anyway. So they both came over. And when the movies, sorry, I'm keeping my eye on that hornet. And when the movie got over, so when the movie got over, I almost said his real name. He was like, Harry was like, oh, I'm tired. I guess we better go now. It's time to leave. And Richard's like, bye. I said, bye. He goes, you ain't coming? He goes, no, I'll be on later. Well, Harry was like, well, I'll sit down a few more minutes. But then he finally left. I think he kind of caught on. So, and it was just little stuff like that. If you're in Georgia, from my part of the town, you've heard of Sun Valley Beach. I'm going to have to go in for a minute. Okay, if you're from my part of the town, you've heard of Sun Valley Beach. This big old huge swimming pool that was made like into a beach, had concession stands, and you go there and swim and sunbathe. So it was the place to go. So my two aunts would take all of my little cousins there. And so I told Ricky about it, and he said, why don't we go? He had never been. So we'd go a couple of times, and all of my little cousins loved him to death because he'd play in the water with them, and he would take turns swimming them out to the deep end and playing on the docks and stuff. So really the whole time we was there, he was just playing with my little cousins and stuff. Until this one day. Y'all, I can't believe what he did. So he comes and picks me up, and of course he has on shorts and tank top. And you know, you wore your bathing suit under your clothes. When we get to Sun Valley Beach and park, and he got out of the car, and he went to take his clothes off to show his bathing suit, he had on lime green Speedos. I almost died. I'm like, oh my gosh. I will not be seen in public with you wearing these lime green Speedos. I'm sitting there thinking, only old men, don't mean to offend nobody, but only they wear those. And I hope I don't offend nobody by saying that, but that's what I was thinking. Sorry, that hornet. So, you know, I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm kind of walking down with him to find my aunts, you know, just kind of like, oh my gosh, he's not with me, he's not with me, just kind of hiding my head. Well, as we get closer to my aunts and my cousins, I can see the look on my aunt's face like, oh my gosh. You know, and let's just say that day my cousins wouldn't even play in the water with him. Where he normally takes them out to the deep end and stuff, they wouldn't get nowhere near him. If he swam toward them, they swam away. I didn't talk to him. One aunt didn't talk to him except Aunt Debbie. She sat there and talked to him the whole time. I mean, we wouldn't even look at him. So he didn't wear those no more. And I still to this day, if we bring up that story, it just embarrasses him so bad. So when my son was born, I went and bought him a pair of lime green little baby Speedos. And so when Richard got off work and showed up, he's like, you're never just going to let me live that down, are you? So, anyway, this story is probably kind of long as it is. If you see me telling part 2 and I'm wearing the same thing, as long as Abigail's okay in there, Nikki's watching her, I'll go on with part 2, but I'll break it up into several until we were married. I do not know why on one of our bowling dates, Richard had brought a camera and set it up on a tripod, and he actually filmed us bowling. And so I've got that, and so I will put that clip on here of us on our bowling date. It will only show me bowling my 2 frames and then him bowling his, and I'm going to leave the surprise, the reason why I'm showing it. So y'all be sure after you watch me bowl my 2 frames, y'all watch him bowl his first, and then the tape's going to stop, and you'll know why it's hilarious. So I'll be back with part 2 later. Get in from this hornet.